Siyanamukela abafundi baka grade 12 ohlelweni lwe-Ithala Edu platform. Ithala, iphendukani kanye ne-Go Digital SA Foundation bajabulela ukunethulela izifundo ezengeziwe ukunisiza ukuba niphumelele kwizivivinyo zenu enizozibhala maduzane nje. Sinothisha abanethulela izifundo zika grade 12 zonke izinsuku kusukela ngoMsombuluko kuze kube yiSonto. Zithokozeleni lezi zifundo, nisithumelele imibuzo lapho nidinga khona usizo.
Sanibulisa bafundi bethu be-Ithala Edu platform and Digital SA. Sesiphinde sabuya futhi la kule ngosi yethu ye-accounting njalo ngeMsombuluko ngoMvulo ngalesikhathi suke sila sizonisiza abafundi abenza ibanga leshumi umatric. Namhlanje sokwenza i-stock valuation ngoba abafundi abaningi abasibhalelayo basendela ama-messages bacela ukuthi siyiphinde le topic. So ke njengoba nazi ukuthi vele uhlelo lwenu lolu senze njalo ke namhlanje. Ngizozama ukuthi ngichazele ukwazi ukuthi u-understand uphinde futhi konke okufunayo ukuthole. Ithi ke sibhale la isihloko sethu namhlanje inventory or stock valuation, right? Stock valuation, just put it this way. Stock valuation. Stock valuation, yini stock valuation ngolimi olula noma ojwayelekile? Indlela zokubala istock. Indlela zokubala istock zihlanu ke sizoyibala: i-weighted average, i-perpetual, i-FIFO, i-specific, and then bese ne-periodic, right? Awasiqale nge-perpetual nani nge-periodic, right? Stock valuation system. Okay, stock valuation. So ayoqala indlela sayini i-periodic inventory system. Periodic or periodical inventory system. La sibala istock once or twice a year njengoba nje igama lithi periodic. Okay, whereby you calculate stock once a year, right? So which means the stock are recorded. Physical stock taking is done periodically, right? Physical stock taking is done periodically. So physical stock taking is done periodically. The advantage of using this stock. Okay, let's look at the advantage. Advantage of using this method. It is cost effective. It is cheaper. It is cost effective, right? Or it is cheaper. It is cheaper, right? It is an advantage. Disadvantage ububi bayo it is not easy to detect and prevent fraud. It is not easily to detect and prevent fraud. Right. Indlela okay nasi la ukuthi akukho lula angisho lapha istock sisibala mhlambe kanye ngonyaka noma kabili manje uthothi asisazi ukuthi mhlambe kwagcine bani ewarehouse noma estore room. Kodwa ubuhle bawo lendlela leyo ukuthi it is not easy, it is not expensive. Mawufuna futhi uku-add la ungasho ukuthi cost of sales is only calculated at the end of the year. Okay, ungaphinde futhi u-add la uthi cost of sales is only calculated at the end of the year. At the end of year, cost of sales is calculated at the end of the year. Okay, that is a periodic. Then sesiya kuyi perpetual inventory system. Perpetual inventory. Perpetual inventory system. Here stock is calculated on a continuous basis. Right. Stock lasts balanjalo la. Right. Stock movement are recorded on continuous or stock movements are recorded on continuous continual basis. Right. Ngasho futhi ngithi cost of sales is calculated at the point of sale. Cost of sales is calculated at the point of sale. Cost of sales is calculated at the point of sale. At the point of sale. Cost of sales is calculated at the point of sale. Okay, let's go to the advantage. The advantage of using this stock. Advantage. Okay, the advantage of this method of perpetually, it is easy to detect fraud. Easily to prevent and detect fraud. Prevent and detect fraud, right? And then it disadvantage it is expensive. It is expensive, right? So what is an advantage on a perpetual? It's a disadvantage on a periodic. What is a disadvantage on a periodic is an advantage to the perpetual, right? And then we go to the FIFO or FIFO. So 3 FIFO, right? FIFO valuation, that is the first in, first out. That is the FIFO method, right? So what's the definition of this one? Final stock is valued at the last price, right? Final stock is valued at the last price, right? The stock valuation is based on the first in. The stock bought in first must be sold first, right? The stock is based on first in, i.e. older stock is sold first, right? If you for normally about a shop, or for instance, let's say retail stores like Pick n Pay, Checkers, I always take the product that are at the back. Let's say bread and the milk and sour milk and yogurt, the one that is up front, because they are old. See, they came in very old, but the one at the back, they're still fresh. So it's based on that assumption, first in, first out. And then we have a weighted average, right? For weighted average method right? The weighted average method it is suitable for, okay, I have a nice definition here. Stock valuation method is suitable for the product of a similar price. Okay, yes, I like this one. Is suitable, or is best suitable, or best suitable for products of similar price, of similar value purchased in large quantity, of similar value purchased in large quantity. Yes, in large quantity. Yes, weighted average method is best suitable for the products of similar value purchased in a large quantity, or in large quantity. And then the last one, remember we said there are 5. So the last one is specific identification method. Specific identification method is suitable for the most expensive products. Specific identification right? Specific identification method is suitable for unique high value products, for unique high value product, right? Items are sold at a large with high value. Okay, it's one and the same. that is specific. So now when we come to the calculations, right, let's go and do our calculation here. We have a question that we have from the MIP document KZN. I do have the question here. F2 inventory is for 45 marks. So let's do that question. Let's answer the question. Right. The first question there. So that is 46 marks, not 45 marks. The information provided is for the accounting records of Klein Williams Ltd. The company sell cooler box and tents. So which means there are two items that are selling here is cooler box and tents, right? The financial year ends on 28th of February 2018, right? So we have to they are saying explain the difference between the specific. Okay, the business use the periodic inventory system and the weighted average method of valuating the stock for the cooler boxes and the specific identification method. So which means in this method we'll be able to do a weighted average as well as a specific, right? Okay, so let's start then. Let's do the first one. So we already answered the first part. We already answered the first part. They are saying here, explain the difference between the specific and the weighted average. We say specific is suitable for the unique high value product, and then the weighted average is best suitable for the product of a similar value purchase in a large quantities. So that is 2 marks for that. And then the question now is saying, question 2.2, the cooler boxes, right? Everything is for the cooler box, right? So we're answering the cooler box. Provide the calculation to show the number of the missing cooler box. Okay, let's do the calculation here now of showing the number of the cooler box. So 2.2, right? Calculation of the missing number of cooler box. Calculation of missing number of cooler box or cooler boxes. So this is what we're answering now, right? So we'll go to the cooler box. Let's go to the cooler box now. Let's go to the cooler box. So the missing. So we are saying purchases, right? Minus who sold. Right? So the information of the cooler box, it's here. So let's go to the cooler boxes now. So we look at the opening, the number, the values, right? It's 850 there, right? So we have 850 opening stock. No, not 850, sorry, 520. Opening stock is 520 units. We purchases it's 4,300, right? And then there's returns of 1,000 on D, and then we have closing stock of 850. Then we sold how many? 3.9, 2,900. Okay, now let's calculate. So we said the opening, 520 plus 4,300 less 100 less 850, right? What else it's missing here. Okay, we have an opening, the opening of 520 plus purchases, right? Less the returns. On the returns, we less not 100, 1,000, sorry. Less 1,000 there, right? Less 850. So we get 3,950 minus. Okay, so our opening unit is 520, right? Opening units there, right, is 520. And then from 520, we are saying plus 4,300, right? And then plus minus 1,000, minus 850, right? So that is basically our opening. Oh, there's, sorry, not 850. Here the returns is 20. Sorry, it's 20. This is the value. It's 20 there, 20. So okay, let's calculate it together. Sorry, 520 plus 4,300 minus the returns of 20 minus the closing of 850. So you reach here, and then we bring down our sales. So the difference now is 50. So 50, it's a missing cooler box. Missing, it can be missing or theft. Missing cooler boxes. Okay, the value is 20 there because we are looking at the units. So you get 4 marks for that. And then calculate the following in respect of the cooler box. So we're calculating now the following. Let's calculate the following now. What's that? So number 1, we're calculating. Let's calculate the closing stock. Closing stock by using what? Weighted average, right? Yeah, because we are told there that for cooler boxes we are using weighted average. So 2. Remember we're doing 2.2, right? We're doing 2.2 there. Now we're doing 2.3, right? 2.3. Let's have a look at the question. Calculate the value of the closing stock. Calculate the value of closing stock in brackets using weighted average. Right, we are told in the information that the cooler boxes is for weighted average. Okay, let's have a look here how to calculate it. Right, we are told there. So we are saying 850. Right. Okay. Okay, 850 times. Okay, we can times it, or we can use this method of weighted average. Weighted average. Okay, there are many methods that we can use here. Can use this one of weighted average. City opening stock plus purchases, right, minus returns, right? So opening stock here plus purchases minus returns. Remember here these are values, units, right? These are units. So times by closing stock, or times by closing units, right? So this is our method here. So our opening stock here, it's 31,200 plus purchase in terms of the values, right? Plus the value that we purchase, total value is 229,400 less the returns. You must be careful on the returns. They are saying 20 damaged cooler boxes costing 20 damaged cooler boxes costing 60 rand each were returned to the supplier. The supplier only agreed to give an allowance of 1,000 due to the late notification. So, but we'll be taking 1,000, not 1.2. Because if you are saying 20,000 times by 60 is equal to 1.2. But now, due to the late notification, we'll be taking the actual. So the actual there is 1,000. Right? Then we can get a numerator from here. So let's calculate the denominator. Opening units is 20. Sorry, is 520. The total purchases of the units 4,300. Right? Less the returns of 20. If maybe we're having the import duty, you can add the import duty there and the carriage on the numerator. So let's calculate our numerator now, times by 850, our closing units, right? So let's get a numerator. So let's say 3120, sorry, not 20, 31,200 plus 1,400 less 1,000. So you get 321,600, right? That's our numerator. So 520, right? 520 plus the purchases, total purchases units 4,300 less 20 the returns. So that is 4,800 times by 850. So let's do this. Let's do our maths. Right, divide by 4,800 times 850. So you get, this is the value of the closing stock using weighted average. That's the value of the closing stock using weighted average. That is correct there. So we are winning there. We are winning, right? Okay, let's go to another question. Calculate the cost of sales. Calculate the cost of sales, right? Okay, let's go and calculate the cost of sales. Cost of sales is one and the same thing, right? But now we'll be writing it. We'll be saying opening stock plus purchases less the returns. Okay, let's calculate the cost of sales. Okay, the cost of sales. Okay, this is we're still on to calculation of cost of sales. Calculation of the cost of sales, right? So formula, I hope you know formula mfundi. Calculation of the cost of sales. We are saying opening stock plus purchases, right? Minus returns, right? Less returns okay, and then less closing stock, the closing stock that we calculated, closing stock, right? So our opening stock, the figure there is 31,200 The purchases we already have a purchases, total purchases, the value 291,400. The returns is 1,000. That's why we write this 1,000 again. The closing stock. The closing stock, which one? The one that we calculated here. First question, that is 56,950. Even if Mfundi, this answer you calculated wrong, but for the fact that you know that it is coming here, you get a method mark for that. So we get the figure of the cost of sales. Let's calculate our cost of sales. 31,200 plus 29,1,400 minus 1,000 minus 56,950. So this is our cost of sales. This is our cost of 264650. This is our cost of sales. So now the following question says calculate the gross profit, right? So calculation of the gross profit. Right, calculation of the gross profit. Very simple to calculate the gross profit. We are saying sales less cost of sales equal to gross profit, like in the income statement, right? So what is our sales figure? We do have the sales figure there on C. It's 38,700 less the cost of sales. Cost of sales, the figure that we calculated here, even if it's wrong, for the fact that you're going to write it here or you write it here, you get a method mark for that, even if it was wrong there. So now we are saying now 387,000. This is our figure of the sales less our cost of sales, 26,450. 650. So you get the figure there of the gross profit. That is 122,350. Okay, that's a figure of the gross profit, right? And then they are saying the manager feels that the business is more efficient in controlling the stock. 2.4 now, 2.4. right? 2.4.1. The manager feels that the business is more efficient in controlling the stock. The stock. Calculate the stock holding period in days, right? So you are calculating what is stock holding period in days, and then check about use the closing stock still there on. So be using the closing stock. So you are saying average stock, but in this case, because they are saying use the closing stock, normally so the stock sale last year plus the stock sale this year, the one that we calculated, divide by 2, and then okay. So but this time around they are saying use the closing stock, so we're not going to use the average, we're going to use the closing stock. So our closing stock, it's here, is 26. So our closing stock, it's, what is our closing stock? It's here, 56. Okay, so this is the calculation of calculation of the stock holding. Calculation of stock holding period. Calculation of a stock holding period, right? So we are saying the formula of the stock holding is saying average stock, but now they are saying let's use the closing stock. So our closing stock only, it's 56,950, right? Divide by cost of sales, right? Divide by cost of sales. This is 264 650. So this is a closing stock, and this is a cost of sales, right? Times by 365 over 1. So if you times there, you get 78.5 days. So that's what you get. But ngokujwayelekile uthi average stock, which means it's a stock. If they never said use the closing stock only, we're going to take this stock at the beginning, 31,200. 31,200 plus this one, right? And therefore you divide by 2. We're going to show it, but now we are told that use the closing stock only. Sometimes they can also say use the opening stock only, you know, or if they never said that, you use both. You are saying opening stock plus the closing stock, you divide by 2, and then you are saying opening stock plus the closing stock, you add this and then divide by 2, and also divide by the cost of sales as your denominator. You times by 365 or 366. Like this year will be 366 because it's a leap year. February ends on the 29th, right? Sesiyaqhubeka futhi ne-question yethu. Check manje ini ama-tens. Remember, they are selling 2 items here in this business. So we're done with this question. Check manje le yama-tens, right? Calculate the value of the closing stock of the tens. Let's go there and read what they are saying about the tens, right? The business used the periodic invent system and the weighted average method of valuating of the cooler box and the specific method, right? So the company said the cooler box and the financial year ends on 28th of February, right? So we are told that the business used the periodic invent system and the weighted average method of valuating the stock for the cooler boxes, and the specific identification method for the tens. So the specific identification method is for the tens. Please underline that one from the question paper. Very important. So now we're dealing with the tens now, right? 2.5. I'm at 10 now. Tens. So we're dealing with the tens. Very important. Is we're on 2.5, right? 2.5, right? Calculate 2.5, right? Is calculate the value of the closing stock by using what now? Is specific, right? Calculate a value of closing stock using specific identification method. This is 2.5, right? Yes. So we are using a specific now a value of the closing stock by using a specific. Let's go to the question. Let's go to the question together. Let's go to this question. Right, 2.5. Asibheke laphana u14. Asibheke lapha u14 a value of the closing stock. So yes, on that table yama 10 range. So we've got a different, our tens are different in terms of the range, right? There's a bush baby, there's leopard, there's lizard, there's buffalo, right? Mawubheka laphana stock on hand of the bush baby tens, right? At the beginning of the stock on hand, we purchased 0, there was nothing there, right? And then we sold 14, so which means 0 there. For 1, so there's 0 there, right? For 2, so even if we didn't write this, right? 2, Leopard, we open with 10, we purchase 32, we sold 28. So what is remaining is 14, right? At what price? At a price of 1,400. Okay, even if we didn't write this, we're just showing. Then with 3, Lizard, we're having on hand, we open with 7, we purchase 28, we sold 28, so which means we remain with 7. You times by the price, 1,680, right? Then 4, Buffalo, so 4, right? We open with 8 tens of Buffalo, we purchased 34, we sold 35, so which means we are left with 7. Then we charge by the unit price accordingly. Right. Okay, let's calculate there so that you can get these figures. Let's calculate it together. It's 14 times 1,400. You get 19,600. Right, and another one, it's 7 times 1,680. Then you get 1,760. Then 7 times 1,540. You get 10,780. And then you get the total now. Let's add now this total quickly. Plus 19. So this is the value of the closing stock by using the weighted average method. Right, we answered the first part. So now we are going to the second part. Second part here, they are saying calculate calculate the value of the closing stock. It's 4 marks. Now let's go and answer 6 marks now, right? So now we're at 2.6. The markup percentage on the tens is 25% on cost. Calculate the total sales of the tens for the financial year period. Right? Yes, we're calculating the sales. If you look on that, or on the information E, go to information E, there's a range of tens there, the stock on hand on the 1st of March, purchases during the year, price per tent or per item. So in this case, our item is tens. Number of tens sold. Can you underline that sold or put it in a circle? Sold during the year. I need that sold there because the question is saying 2.6. The markup percentage on tens is 25% on cost. Calculate the total sales. So then on number 1, we sold how many? We sold 14. So 14 is there already, right? And then 2, it was 28. You can see that one. And another one was 28, right? Another one, it's what? 35. Right, these are number of tens sold, right? Go there on imfundi ubheke laphana with how many units, that the number of units sold. The question is saying calculate the total sales of the 10s for the financial year. So it's 14, 28, 28, and 35, right? So we're not calculating the closing now, we're calculating the sold, right? So at what price is this 14? The price is 1,260, right? Times by this is 28, 1,400, another 28, 1,680, another last purchase there, times by 1,540, right? Because the question, they are saying that the markup percentage on the 10s is 25%. So it's 25% like throughout, it is constant. So there's no point of timesing each. We'll times it at the end. But if it was, let's say, it was not the same, we're going to times it accordingly. Okay, I'll show you at the end what do I mean. Okay, and then let's get the figures here. Let's get the figures. Calculate the figures. Right. So I hope you understand so far. This is what I'm doing here. The number of units sold for the Bush baby 10s is 14. At the end, you can see there on E. Then another one was 28, another one was 28, another one was 28, and therefore you will times by the unit price accordingly. The first unit price is 1260. The second one is 1,400. The third one is 16,800. The third one is 1,540. So now let's times and see. So 14,000. So I mean 14 times 1260. So we get 17,640. Right, 17,640. And another one, 28 times 1,400. 39,200. 28 times 1680. 47,040. 47,040. And then the last one, 35 times by 1,540. You get 53,900. So, and then we have to add now everything. Okay, let's add it together. I hope you can see. Right, and then we're going to add it together then. Okay. Let's add it together. Let's add together. Okay, let's go and add 17,640 plus 39,200 plus 47,040 plus 53,900. Okay, you get this figure here, right? You get this figure, get 1,577,80, right? Remember here they are saying on cost price, the markup percentage on cost price. From grade 9, you remember from grade 9, we are not done yet with the question. From grade 9, if you still remember, the issue of the markup emanates from 100 divided by 100, right? So if you calculate calculation of the cost of sales. This is from grade 8 and 9. This is from grade 9, right? Let's say the markup percentage, let's say it's is 50%. So you'll be saying calculation of the sales. You'll be saying sales figure, sales times by 100 divide by 100 plus markup percentage. So which means sales times by 150, or 100 divided by 150. So what I'm trying to say, if you are calculating for the cost of sales, from this fraction here, you add markup on the denominator. If you are calculating for the sales, okay, let me show you the one of the sales, because it's very important to understand this grade 9 approach. Okay, let's say for instance we are calculating for the sales. It's obvious we'll be having the cost of sales. Calculation of sales. So it's obvious we're having the cost of sales. So we are saying cost of sales times by 100 divided by 100. You add the markup here, markup percentage, right? So we are saying cost of sales times by 150 divided by 100. So it's obvious here because we are calculating for the sales, because the question is saying calculate for the sales. So we'll be taking that one, right? So which means from our calculation, you times this by 100 divided by the markup there is 25, so which means 125 here, right? Let's see what is the answer then, right? Times by 100 divided by 125. So our answer is 12622 So that is our answer there. This is our answer, 2.6. Calculation of the total sales, right? Calculation of total sales with cost 25%. Okay. Uma mhlambe ubungafuni ukubala kanjena, ikhona enye indlela futhi ongabala nangayo, depending ukuthi ke how sharp you are in terms of ama fraction, right? Ungaphinde futhi ubale nangayo lo ndlela leyo, bungabala futhi kanje, because we are calculating for, okay, let's add once more the 17,640 plus 39,200 plus 47,040 plus 53,900. Okay, and then times by 1. Okay, fraction. This one is the same as, okay, times by 1,25. 1,25 is the same as this one, 1,25. So note this answer here. The correct answer here, it's 19. Okay, the correct answer here, it's 197,225. Okay, bungaphinde futhi ubale nakanje mfundi, mangafuna ubala ngalendlela ungabala futhi nangalendlela le. Right, let me just show you another one quickly because we still have some few minutes. Let me just show you this one. Bungaphinde futhi ubale nangalendlela lena. Uthi this is 2.6. Uthi 14, 28, 28 35. Right, so 1260 1400 ungafunda wenza na kanje futhi. Right, then from here, because we are told that it's 25%, bunga times with a decimal. 25% is the same as 125. 125 times by 125 times by 125 times by 125. Right, and then you get these answers here. Right, so which means the first one will be 22,050. Another one would be 49,000, and then another one would be 58,800. Another one would be 67375, and then you can calculate once. You get the same answer there, 19,725. 19,725. You can also use this one again, fundi. Yes, just the delay manje. Yonke into usuyithola yonke lo 46 marks lo wakho wonke mfundi. That's how you can master this. It's the FIFO, the FIFO method. So next week I'm going to the FIFO method and give you more activities on the FIFO method, because dala ngicela nithi ngicela ukuthi nimasterishe le stock valuation. Vele question ezobuzwa le unike uyazi, so sesiyikhavile specific as well as weighted average method. Into esele manje it's a FIFO method, FIFO. So next week will be more activities on the FIFO method. Siyabonga kakhulu ke, niqhubeke nisilalele, nisibuze futhi la ngifuna ukuthi nisibuze khona. Noma singeke mhlawumbe siphendule la ngokukhulu ukusheshsha, kodwa siyaphendula khona as soon as umuntu ethola ithuba ufuna siphendule. Siyabonga kakhulu ke bafundi. Inkosi Thelemusi.
Siyanibonga ngokufunda nathi. Siyanimema ukuthi nithamele futhi nakusasa. Ningazithola lezi zifundo ekhasini lethu lika Facebook elithi Go Digital SA Foundation, na ku YouTube elithi Go Digital SA Foundation. Ziyatholakala na Ukhozi FM njalo ngoLwesine kusukela ngo9 kuya ku10 ebusuku. Ningasithola nango WhatsApp kwinamba yethu ethi 068 151 1072. Siyabonga.